So the One Piece anime is finally back in the Wano arc with episode 908. Last episode was obviously the 20th anniversary Romance Dawn episode. So now we're back. Obviously, Law catching up with Zoro and Luffy. I love the interaction with Zoro and Law immediately. Like, Zoro, what the hell's your problem? Law's like, you're causing way too much scene. Now you got Jack involved by taking down Hold'em. And I love how Zoro's response was like, yeah, sorry. Nonchalant. I think there's going to be more that Zoro needs to apologize for. Immediately notices the headliner, Speed, obviously is under the control of Tama, and he's like questioning what the hell's going on here. Why is the headliner here? And Zoro's like, this brat was picked up by Luffy, and it seems like she has an interest and ability to tame headliners. So there you go. Speaking of which, we find out what Luffy, the reason why he said what he forgot was I guess a huge basket of water, fresh water, so they could drink and eat. So the villagers of Akabura town, the town of leftovers, so that's pretty cool. That's the whole purpose of them stealing the food cart, then bringing it back into. You have Asuru tending to the sick and to the starving. You have people literally on the verge of dying because they're on the verge of starvation. A great little story, and it's obviously a chilled out episode, a down to earth episode. Not much action, but that wasn't the point. It's the calm before the storm that's about to erupt once again in Wano Act 1. While Luffy just casually took the basket of water when you got like underlings of the headliner, you had one of them being Batman, and literally just let Luffy go. Like, they didn't even try and stop him. It's like, yeah, I'm out of here. I love how Okiku notices Law bickering with Zoro. It's like, oh, you're having problems over there? Law's like, of course there's a problem over here. So I love that. So we get back to the Okaboi town. You have the food ready for the villagers. It's like a heaven, a dream come true for them. Pretty cool. In the manga, there's actually somebody literally about to commit suicide before before somebody stopped it. I don't think we saw that scene. It would have been a little bit too dark, but be that as it may. But before things went to drastic measures, they got alerted that food is not saved. With Zoro, Law, and Okiku and Atama making their entrance. Atama's happy. She's living a dream. When Luffy rejoins the crew, he comes down with a basket of water. It's like, here, you have fresh water now, and you literally have, like, I guess this abundance of Hold'em approach Zoro and Law. I don't know what they've been able to do. They're probably been taken out, but talk about more humiliation. In comes Luffy, and he just lands on them with a basket. So I guess justice to what happened with Batman earlier in the arc when he actually tanked a hit from Luffy with Haki, but now the tables are switched. So, and they're going to switch again, spoiler alert, but to see them actually help out the people of Akabura town. You have Law, who is sick by this. What's going on there? This makes me sick. And Okiku actually mentions, like, we're still stealing here, so it's still like a problem. You go over to Basil Hawkins, and speaking of trouble, Hawkins is like somebody over the Denmushi. We don't hear or know who he's talking to. And the first impression you get, oh, he's talking to Jack or he's talking to Kaido. Well, Jack was already alerted previously about Luffy taking down Hold'em. And that, by default, also brings Kaido into the picture, so that doesn't make any sense. So when I think about it, it kind of makes sense for him to be either in communication with either ex-Drake or Scratchman Apu, who we know they're both working under Kaido. So that would make sense. It could be Kaido, but we don't know. So I love that little tidbit of information there. Law reuniting with Luffy. And what's interesting, he gets pissed off at Zoro, but he doesn't say too much to Luffy. Like, he knows what Luffy's about. So it's like, and Zoro's like, yeah, pinning this all on Luffy. Like, yeah, Zoro even though Luffy did say that wasn't the intention, that we're trying to make people happy here, and they did. And Tama and Ace, when she eats the apple, it's like, when Luffy says, I'm going to make this normal for you, don't get used to this because it's going to be just as good by the time I leave Wano. So that's for sure. And it's exactly the same thing that Ace said to regards to, when I come back here, I'll make sure you have a lot to eat every day, so don't worry about it, even though technically things don't work out. But here with Luffy, the parallels are there, so I like that. You have the separation with Tama and Luffy being a big deal. I can almost go, it's also it's bittersweet because you know it's obviously a touching moment, but at the same time, it's kind of cool because we know Atama has a broken ability, and Luke Law pointing it out twice. Like, what the hell's going on with the headliner here? So we know she has the ability to tame zone type, so if she's not a part of this, it kind of makes things more interesting makes things less predictable, so that's one of the reasons why. At the same time, it is bittersweet because she's saying goodbye to a friend. Also, I love how Zoro wants to see Nidai Katetsu. Luffy is like straight up ignoring him. It's like, I want to be a samurai, so I want to keep this, even though Zoro says you don't even know how to use it yet. So that's going to be interesting. Then Law says, we need to get out of here because we're going to bring some trouble here. Luffy's like, you got this. We proceed to go to the most interesting part of the episode where Law's like, we need to go to the ruins of Odin Castle, and immediately you see the expression of Okiku. Like, what the hell is he talking about? How do they know about this? And immediately the suspicion, she becomes very, very suspicious once again. And of Odin's castle, so the truth can be brought to light. And Law's like, you're going to be surprised by what you see. Zoro says, yeah, I was surprised when I saw it too. The episode, for being fun and warm-hearted, it got very serious towards the end of the episode when Luffy's response, yeah, I was surprised by that too, Luffy. You see the graves, and then you see the names on the graves of Momonosuke, Raizo, Kanjuro, Kinemon, and of course, Kozuki Odin. That's only 5 of the graves, and if you notice in the background, there's actually 6 more. So there's 11 in total, right? You could just about make one of them out. But yeah, there's a lot of graves in the background. And in the manga, they had like 8 graves in total, right? You have 5 in front. That's very highlighted. Obviously Kozuki Odin's in the middle. Momonosuke is beside him, and then you see Kanjuro, Kinemon, and Raizo. But then you gotta question yourself: what are the other 6 graves behind him, and why are they so kind of like darkened in a way? That I've read the manga, I kind of think I know what the reason why is, why they didn't highlight, instead of highlighting 8 graves, they decided to highlight 5. It's because we only know of 5 of those names right now. And technically speaking, as the ghosts of Wano. Now the question becomes, what the hell's going on here? So Raizo, Kinemon, Kanjuro, and Momonosuke, the ghosts? No, that's not the case, because we saw in a flashback in the beginning of the Wano, we saw Kinemon clearly talking to the Straw Hats. So what's going on here? That's going to be brought to light. It's important to notice. Like I said, the things that I appreciate most about Wano in the anime is the attention to detail. So I noticed that, and knowing where we are now in the manga, I can kind of appreciate what they're trying to do here. But 2 of the other graves that are there, they have to be, like the parents of Kozuki Odin. We saw Kozuki Odin's grave. I'm pretty sure the mother's grave is there too, as well. We've already seen the shot of Momonosuke, the sister, the mother, and Kozuki Odin himself. So I'm pretty sure that they're the graves. That still leaves 4 graves out there. So I think that's kind of obvious. And one of the things that is kind of obvious now, that Okiku has to have a connection with the Kozuki clan just because of her reaction. Like, they seem like good people, but I can't let my guard down. And given her reaction in the preview, it seems like there's more merit to that. For anime only, you don't really know fully, but it's kind of obvious. In fact, if you go back in time, Wano, where you see the silhouettes of the samurai, one of the silhouettes look very much like Okiku's design in silhouette. So that's hell of, I mean, Oda's foreshadowing is usually off the page, but here it would make sense in that regard. So I like that. Like I said, the attention to detail. We're going to find that out as the preview. It looks like we're going to see Robin again. It looks like the dancing lessons are going to pay off, so that's cool to see her as usual. She's going to overhear an interesting conversation with the introduction of Kyoshiro finally in the anime, so that's going to be cool, as well as the ghost of the Kozuki Odin story brought to life by Law. And if you notice Luffy's reaction, like he's kind of like dumbfounded by this. So is Luffy scared of him? Zoro's going to cause some more trouble. And anime onlys, I wonder if you can guess what Zoro's going to get involved with that's going to cause a problem. And I'm wondering if Zoro knew about the grades. I'm pretty sure that means Usopp, Frankie, and Robin also knew about the grades. Zoro, Usopp, Frankie, and Robin, as well as Law, also knew about this. Did they hear about the story? And that's the reason why we don't get them in this part. It would make sense. The stage is set for pretty much the remainder of Act 1. I can't wait to see what happens next. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.